Story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, and Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson.
Rodney Harrington has brought Allison Mackenzie home from a date many times. But tonight, he brings her to a house that has changed.
Well, thank you for a lovely evening. I did enjoy it.
Well, thank you for enjoying it. Allison. Oh, it's you. What did you do? Forget your key?
Yeah, no, I thought it might be easier if I just rang.
Well, you're just in time for coffee and cake.
Oh, I'd better not.
Oh, please, Rod.
Yes, do. Come in.
Just for a minute, anyway.
Thank you.
You two have a good time?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the movie frightened Alice.
It did not.
Well, then why didn't you look at the screen?
Sit down, Rod.
Thank you. How are you, Mr. Carson?
I'm fine, Rodney, thank you. And you?
No complaints.
Norman?
Well, he's pretty good.
Have you heard anything from your father?
Well, yes, I got a letter the other day. He's in Paris, and he saw Aunt Laura.
Oh, well, the next time you write, tell him hello for us.
I'll do that. Norman and I, thinking about a phone call. Collect, of course. But we thought the shock might...
Paris must be lovely this time of year.
Well, yes, he says it's been raining for about a week. They're going to go to Switzerland. Aunt Laura has taken up skiing.
I think we need some cups.
He'll need some help. Elliot?
Why the devil did I have to bring that up?
Well, because it has to be faced. But it isn't easy for him either.
I thought the past was dead. I thought I could handle
You
this.
can. You will.
I want to like that boy, but every time I look at him, I see his father. I see the man who sent me to prison for 18 years. I know what you're thinking. Sins of the father.
Something like that.
I'm saying that to myself.
Say goodnight to your parents for me. Thank your mother for the cake.
I will. It's always hardest the first time, you know.
You think there'll be a second?
And a third, and a fourth.
Well, if you can stand it, lady, I guess I can.
I can stand it.
You're a chum.
And the one thing you can't stand is a lady with charm.
You said that, I did.
7:30?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Julie.
Good morning, Doctor.
Any coffee left?
Oh, I think so. Dr. Rossi.
Yes?
Well, I hope you don't think I'm ungrateful, but I've been offered my old job back at the mill.
You have?
Yes, I didn't go looking for it, Doctor. I've been very happy here.
Well, if it's a better opportunity for you and it's got to be more money, I don't blame you.
It may be a mistake going
Now, don't spoil it with doubts. I've been lucky. I knew when you first started working for me, I'd lose you someday to a fatter paycheck and a longer lunch hour.
Well, I'll be sure to put all of your patients' records into
I'm
categories.
sure everything will be in order.
Doctor, how can Betty and I ever thank you for everything
Julie, congratulations on your new job, and good luck.
You're a pretty rare sort of a guy.
Hey, what about my coffee?
No, I mean it, Doc.
And don't forget the cream.
Dr. Rossi.
Julie, if you don't get me my coffee, you're fired.
Yes, Doctor. Dr. Rossi, I'd be very happy to try and find someone to replace me.
Good.
Or, maybe you would rather find your own girl, huh?
Hey, you make that sound like fun.
Be good to yourself, Doctor. Make a good life for yourself.
Someone told me that just last night.
Believe it.
Well, Miss Marsh?
Good morning, Mr. Swain.
Mr. Dowell in?
Just a moment. Mr. Swain to see you, Mr. Dowell. Yes, sir. Please go right in.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Swain. As a faithful reader of your paper, I've looked forward to meeting you. I'm Stephen Court, Mr. Dowell's new associate.
Well, you have the welcome sound of a new subscriber.
Hardly a new one. I've read the Clarion for years.
I didn't realize that our local news was of such widespread interest.
Hometown news is always interesting. And I've always thought of Peyton Place as home.
You're Hannah Cord's boy.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, please.
Morning, Matt.
Good morning.
How goes it?
Well, I just met your, what would you call him, new junior partner?
Hardly that. Though I'm sure Stephen did his best to give you that impression. He's a brash youngster. He has a good head on his shoulders.
And he's Hannah Cord's son?
Stephen was not tied to the Peyton account. Oh, he clerked with Wainwright and Kennelly, and he probably knows more about Peyton's business than Peyton does himself.
I don't doubt it. Ted, you asked me to consider your representing Martin Peyton very carefully. Well, I have.
Matt, I know what you're going to say.
Then let me say it. I can't see how you can represent the Harrington boys as well. I think you owe them your resignation.
I couldn't disagree with you more.
There's clearly a conflict of interest.
In your mind, not in mine.
Have you discussed this with the boys?
Just hasn't been time.
Ted, I don't blame you for accepting Peyton's offer. I can see the advantages, the money, the prestige that goes with representing Peyton. But sooner or later, you're going to have to serve one client at the expense of the other.
Look, the boys are Martin Peyton's own grandsons.
And Leslie Harrington's sons, remember that. You can't represent two totally adverse interests.
But I don't see them as adverse. You're asking me to abandon those boys. Matt, I won't do it.
The problem is not abandoning Rod and Norman. It's admitting to yourself you chose between them and their grandfather's interests.
I acted perfectly ethically.
Only if you recognize the choice.
In your opinion. It's all your opinion and only your opinion.
It's either or. You can't have it both ways.
Who appointed you my conscience?
No one. But I was appointed their guardian.
Yes?
Rodney Harrington to see you, Mr. Cord.
Oh, fine, fine. No, wait, ask him to wait a moment.
Good to see you, Rodney.
I understand you're representing my grandfather. Congratulations.
Thanks. Why don't you come into my office? We can talk more comfortably.
Well, I didn't come to see you, sir. I came to see Mr. Cord.
Oh.
Now, you can ask Mr. Harrington to come in now.
Yes, Mr. Cord.
Welcome to my lavish office.
How big was the one in Boston?
Bigger. But I shared it with another guy.
I'm glad you could see me today.
Oh, my calendar isn't that crowded yet. And it won't be either. Not as far as you're concerned.
Thank you. Stephen, it was very difficult to talk at the inn.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rod. I didn't mean to barge in last night.
I'm not talking about last night. I'm talking about you and my brother.
Yes, I ran into your brother down at the drugstore. I tried to renew an old friendship. He was, what, 6 years old when I left the house? You want to know why I mentioned your mother?
That's what I want to know.
Oh, I thought it would ease Norman's mind if I told him that your grandfather was convinced your mother didn't commit the murder.
Why open it up again? It's a closed issue.
Well, legally, yes.
If there's no new evidence, if it's only your feeling.
Martin Peyton's feeling.
Fine. Martin Peyton's feeling. But that's all it is, isn't it? A feeling.
That's all. I'm sorry, Rod. The draggled boy from the servants' quarters apologizes for conduct unbecoming a gentleman.
You can't forget, can you?
No. No, it's a fact of my life. The color of my hair, how tall I am.
Why did you come back here?
A lot of reasons.
Private ones?
No. I'll tell you the same thing I told Mr. Dowell. The Martin Peyton account can mean a future for me.
You had a future in Boston. You left it to come back here.
I told you. There are many reasons. But I'm here. And I intend to do well here.
I wish you luck. I mean that, Stephen. But I'm going to have to tell you to stay out of our business.
That's too bad. I can't. See, I grew up in the same house. I ate the same food. I ate the football in the same backyard. And I eavesdropped in the same family arguments. Your business and my business. They're the same. Say, how about a cup of coffee?
No, thank you. I've got a class.
I'll see you, Rod.
Yeah, I'll see you. That was Robin Harrington, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. He stopped in on a family matter.
What was it?
Well, frankly, sir, I ran into him socially last night, and we didn't have a chance to talk. So he dropped in this morning to ask how his grandfather was.
Well, I don't mean anything by this, but in the future, I would appreciate it if you refer the Harrington boys to me. Their representation is my responsibility.
I understand, sir.
How are you doing in their mother's estate?
Well, there's a lot to learn.
Yes. Well, if you're not doing anything for lunch, perhaps we can have a sandwich together.
I'd like that.
Good. See you at 1. We'll talk some more then over lunch.